Marital rape, speaking the unspoken trauma of my life. When I was married with my ex husband, I remembered only two times having an amazing moment, heavenly moment. One was in Sri Lanka um, before I moved to Canada to join him. And since the day, so after he left me, so before that, the moment in Sri Lanka, but then when I moved and we lived together in Canada, it was hell. But again, after the police case and everything, there was a beautiful moment because I think he thought just making me pregnant, I might, stay with him. So there was a beginning and the end, a beautiful moments to remember. But in between, it was hell. I also suffered of vaginism, but again, I had these beautiful moments because now I understand the brain is connected with our vagina. So when there is love, when the man shows love, because the two moments where I enjoyed, there was no pain, nothing, because he was so loving and caring, and so that. But the other moments I had sex with him, it was so painful because it happens right away after abuse, physical abuse or violence. So either verbally, emotionally, physical attack, when I cry, then he will try to have sex with me. It doesn't work because somebody who hated me want to have sex with me to like make it right. That is not the way, but I think it is in our culture. That is the way, good sex after a bad problem or difficult problem solves everything. That is one of the saying they have. So sex is used to manipulate and keep the woman in her place and to say I love you because I had sex with you, so I love you. So his throughout the time, his behavior never changed. He was continuously attacking me, verbally, emotionally, physically. But at the same time, he will come back to have sex. So I had so much pain. And the other thing is, he had erectile dysfunction. So we never talk about man, especially um, husband having a problem, because when he applied for the divorce, the first thing his accusation is, my wife was not good in bed. If she has been a good wife supporting me in the marriage bed, I could have not abused her physically. And he was mentioning about the vaginism. So publicly, he was able to attack me through the lawyer about my physical problem. But even at that time, I didn't have courage to tell my lawyer about his erectile dysfunction. I felt like, so, I am his, I was separated from him. But to point out to a man and tell there is a problem with this man was difficult for me. In the medical studies, when we were in medical school, we studied a lot of man's problem, sexual problem, but we don't put that much importance for the female. you know Vaginism and all, I didn't study in the medical books, but I studied erectile dysfunction in the medical book. I knew what it was, how to treat and everything. But still, to admit or say my husband has a erectile dysfunction was a big deal. It was like sex is seen as like their sexual power, that if they can't perform, that is seen as very low for them. So whenever he can't erect, he will beat me on the bed itself. He will say, because of you that I couldn't go inside, or I have like lost my erection. So it was crazy, but I couldn't do anything. And I couldn't take him to a doctor. I didn't tell anybody that my husband has a erectile dysfunction. I always told that I had vaginism. Yes, we didn't have a proper sex, that is true. But, I was able to. But the cause for my vaginism came from my ex husband because he was abusive, and because of abuse my vagina couldn't open it, because same man I had two times good sex. Why? Because he was loving, he was kind, so I was able to enjoy with him. So marital rape, forcefully penetrating, is actually, it is a rape even for a wife, but we don't, discuss about it, talk about it. And it is, it is taken as a privilege because in Sri Lanka many women are forcefully married, and we don't say that they were, raped, but the forceful marriage is for sex, especially when we were ruled by the terrorists in up north in Sri Lanka. They were considered as a very like a they performed or they acted as a very holy people, like, they had so much of restrictions of law, and nobody will never say, they are very bad, like, moral standards were high for them. But the problem they had is whenever they wanted a woman, they will forcefully marry her to be with her. And I have met so many women who have children for those terrorist people, because they were, they didn't have any voice. So the, abducted and married is very common in the third world countries. I have again worked with particular country people where women were abducted, taken, married. Marriage was so simple that in those countries they don't have legal system. They just have to do some rituals, and right away they had sex. So this is what, is either forcefully sleep with the wife, is also rape, and that is called marital rape. And where many women are suffering because we think it is our duty to pleasure our husband, satisfy our husband, and also be obedient to our husband. So actually, in reality, woman has to decide when she wants to have sex. It all depends on her hormonal change with her menstrual cycle. So she is the one who opens, and when she is ready for the time to have sex, she has to invite the husband for sex. But in our culture, there is no importance given to the woman. It is man who decides when he wants to have sex and how many times he wants to have sex. It's all on the power of man, and sex is power. So, when a man can have sex with a woman, it shows he is powerful, but actually, sexuality is sacred. Sex is one of the divine thing in the world. It not only creates, regenerates the humanity, but also it gives, healing for humanity. So it is one of the most beautiful thing in the world, but we have made it very dirty, ugly, shamed it, and also we have made it into a weapon to attack each other with the through the sex. So once we are sexually attacked, we have dehumanized those people. So let's speak the truth. Let's have our own clarity about our own sexual life, our own sexuality, our own preference, and let's not be ashamed to name them, and let's not feel bad about speaking the truth about our sexual relationships. It's not like blaming them, or it's about sharing the moments with love. So may you all be well, may you all be healthy, may you all find your true purpose and blossom in your sexual life and enjoy your sexuality each moment of your life. May you be always enjoy sex.